Well, welcome. Episode number 1 of the BNI Connect. And the whole purpose of this podcast is to have a chat to local Brisbane BNI members, learn a little bit about their business, but then also how BNI has helped me. And guest number 1 is Michelle Watt from Nest Connect. Michelle, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you going?
Good, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being here. Well, I just mentioned that you're Michelle Watt from Nest Connect. So tell me a little bit about you and your business.
So I am a real estate agent. I've been in the industry nearly 20 years and I have a boutique property management agency. So essentially the core of our business is residential property management. We are looking to expand into commercial space, rooming accommodation or share accommodation, and also down the track a luxury brand as well.
Fantastic. And so I can see by your sign that you're Brisbane wide, Michelle, is that right?
That's correct. So Caboolture out to Ipswich, down to Logan and over to the Bayside and everywhere in between.
Everything in between, hey?
Yeah.
I love it. Fantastic. Now, you're a member of BNI Oasis. In the spirit of a disclaimer, we're both a member of the same chapter. But how and when were you introduced to BNI and what made you decide to join?
So I initially was invited to a BNI meeting back in 2017 when I had just launched another business that I was managing for a group of business owners. I went along to that meeting and didn't particularly enjoy it. I was the only woman there and I wasn't made feel particularly welcome. Fast forward to late 2021 and I was invited to attend another BNI meeting and I said, I don't think so. I said, it's not for me. Oh, come on, Shelley, you know. So I went along and as they say, the rest is history. I loved the group that I was in at the time. We grew a pretty solid little chapter, that was the start of my journey.
Fantastic. And so, as you said, I mean, I'm sure there's a number of people who've had a different experience with BNI when perhaps they first went, but it's important to note that whilst that initial experience may not have been positive, stick with it because, you know, BNI is the world's largest referral-based marketing organisation and it's that way for a reason. So that initial meeting wasn't positive for you, but then you had, you made the decision to come back again and here you are today.
And I think it's really important if you're considering joining a chapter that you visit a couple to see where you feel comfortable, feel the vibe, make sure that, you know, you're going to be around people you enjoy being around because you're going to spend a lot of time with them.
Absolutely. No, wonderful advice. Thank you, Michelle. How has being part of a BNI chapter influenced your approach to networking?
It's made me a lot more confident. I am a people person and I love to have a chat. And I think I took to the networking well. And I enjoy walking into a room now and I'm far more confident to approach people that I don't know. And I'm curious, you know, I'm eager to find out what people do and how they can help me in my business. And of course, how I can help them. It's all about me.
But it's a good point you make, you know, so a lot of people think BNI from a commercial perspective, and that's true, but there's also wonderful benefits such as, you know, personal development, personal growth, you know, confidence, etc. that you get from being a part of a BNI chapter.
Correct, yeah.
How do you measure your success of being a part of BNI?
I think it's given me, over the years, a higher profile. I guess in our industry, in the real estate industry, and particularly property management, I had a fairly high profile anyway, but that was within my industry. So now it's allowed me to showcase what it is I do, the kind of person I am, the services that I offer to a wider audience.
Fantastic, right? And so how has your business evolved since joining BNI?
Well, I've had an interesting journey. So when I first joined BNI, I was managing a rental agency with over 600 managements. And traditionally, it could be quite difficult to find contractors to work for you. because they're often being engaged by other agencies as well. So I was able to align myself very quickly with an excellent electrical business and plumbing. They're our core contractors. So I was able to align myself quickly with them. So it meant then I almost had exclusivity. I'm sure they had other agencies that they worked for, but I don't know who they are, and it was quite irrelevant to me. So that has helped us grow. We know that when we're bringing on new business, we can say we have a fabulous team of trades. This is what they do. They work for us. We don't need to ask for quotes because we know that they're going to work for us at competitive rates. They're going to get the job done quickly, and there's a whole flow-on effect from those things not happening. So, in that's just one respect that it's helped me.
Yeah, and I would imagine looking after the number of properties that you do, that having that confidence that, whether it be an electrician or a plumber or whatever is the appropriate trade or consultant, that you've built that relationship of know, like and trust, and you know that you can hand your property or your tenants over to that person and they will, fix whatever the problem is.
I've made a conscious effort too. Every single contractor that I use in my business is a BNI member.
Wow.
That's been, I might have two that aren't, and I'm working on them to become one. But it's because I can ring them on a Saturday or a Sunday, like I had to do last weekend when we had a hot water system breakdown. Now, sometimes you can push the tenant out to Monday to save the owner that big call-out fee, but this particular tenant is a terminal cancer patient. So it was important to me and to him that we get him some hot water.
Yeah, and so you got that preferential treatment because of the relationships that you built through BNI, which is amazing.
Exactly, yep.
What advice would you give to new BNI members to make the most out of their membership?
To follow the path that they're being led down. So, they've got some onboard training to do. Really take that in, embrace it. There's a lot to learn. As you know, we have our online learning that we've got access to all the time. There is some absolute gold nuggets in there. I often jump in and have a bit of a look around if I'm looking to, like, say when I was recruiting, I learned a lot through the BNI online learning about recruiting and interviewing, and really make the effort to get out and do valuable, worthwhile one-to-ones with your own chapter members, and then expand yourself out, meeting other people, visit other chapters. That's the part I love. I love walking into a new room of different people. You just don't know who's in the room and what you're going to come away with.
And BNI is a global organisation, and so, even though we're talking about things happening for us in Brisbane, but the reality is that BNI is global and you can meet so many different connections from all corners of the world. It really is a wonderful, large family, which is terrific.
I had the opportunity to network within a couple of months of joining BNI. I did Global Conference, which at the time I did online, and that was 3 crazy days of no sleep. And out of that, I met some contacts. One of those is now a client that refers to me a couple of times a year from Malaysia. So, put yourself out there, grab every opportunity you can to network. BNI offers so many opportunities, and, I think if you grab them, you'll do well.
So you get out of things what you put into them, which is amazing. And also you touched on a good point that there is an enormous amount of resources that are part of your membership. So like you said, you were learning about recruitment. So you came along for networking to join initially, but you were learning about recruitment and other, business tips and strategies that you could then incorporate into your business, which is an amazing, asset.
Yes, I learned that I was a really lousy interviewer. And all the wrong questions. That was good to learn,
Excellent. Well, and that's the thing, right? So, it's about awareness, right? And then you can build on that from there. And it's great that you were able to get that help through BNI. Yeah. Which is amazing. So, what's next for your business, Michelle?
Next for my business, I'm about to engage a VA to help me. I understand my strength in my business, and at the moment I have to, as a new startup, I have to cover all roles. And I do that some days really, really well and other days really, really crappy. So a VA is going to come on and help me with my admin tasks. I spend a lot of time just, recording data and processing reports and that sort of thing. So that will be great. That will allow me then to really focus on growing my share accommodation arm. And my dream, my goal is to become the authority body in Brisbane on that model of management. So there are not a lot of agencies that do that style of management. It's a little bit unique. Same but different as residential management. And so I really want to focus on that. I'm doing as much learning as I can in that space and reading the Act, which is, it's like watching paint dry. It's really not exciting, but in order to do a job well, you've got to have a fairly solid understanding of it. And again, that goes back to one of our core values, and that's our ongoing learning. Continually improving ourselves. So that's where I'm hoping to head. And then following that will be more than likely my luxury arm, which will be, I'm hoping to build that into a concierge service. So the top end of town, have staff moving in and out all the time. And I'll be there to find the appropriate housing, source what services they may need, schools, out of school activities for the children, all that sort of thing. So that's a big eye in the sky dream, and there's a lot of moving parts to that, but we'll get there.
Well, I love it. It's about aiming high. And so as your business grows towards the share accommodation or the luxury concierge service, how do you see your relationship with BNI evolving?
So I will continue to draw on BNI for the services that I need. So each of those spaces are going to require new services that I don't engage at the moment, particularly in the luxury side. So I'm going to be looking for, high-end cleaners, personal shoppers, or lots and lots of different services, cooks that are going to be able to help us build a really solid team. So I will be using BNI to its full potential to find those people. And if I find those people and they're not in BNI, well then I'll be flipping it on its head and trying to get them into BNI.
I love it. Fantastic. If you could share one piece of wisdom to our listeners, regardless of if they're in BNI or not, what would that be?
I think embrace challenge is mine. It's something that I've really had to do this year. I've had some big challenges dropped in my lap this year, and the easiest option would have been just to throw it in, walk away and do something else. But just take a big breath, take a look at it. As I've said before, there is a wealth of knowledge in BNI. I've been able to pick up the phone and go, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. What do you suggest? So I actually don't see those challenges as a big deal anymore, because I know after the initial shock, it's like, okay, I've got people that can help me with that.
You're well supported.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is amazing, and it's great. And what a great message that is. To embrace those challenges, lean into them, and knowing full well that a part of BNI networking, people have got your back, which is amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Excellent. How can listeners learn more about you and your business?
They can jump on my website, so that's nestconnect.com.au, or give me a call.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Michelle. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful to learn a little bit more about you, learn about your business, and also your journey in BNI. And that's it. Guest number one, episode number one. We're done. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.